everybody. I'm Mike.
And I'm Darren.
And we are
the Froze Bros.
Welcome, everybody. This is our first live recording.
We did one dead previously.
Yeah, we were out of it.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back. So we just want to start off with the intro episode, tell you a little bit about us, and get right into it. We're going to start with our first item of the podcast, which is going to be the famous White Castle burgers.
White Castle.
Some people like them better than the actual in-store burgers. I can't really speak to that.
I don't know that I've had the frozen ones before. I've had some in-store burgers, but not in quite a while.
All right.
But
we're gonna taste that. We're gonna talk to you about it. We'll get into it. But first of all, we're gonna tell you a little bit about ourselves. We're a couple of buds. We met doing improv.
We did. It seems like we've been talking about this for about 10 years.
It seems like a long time, but it hasn't been that long.
Probably not. Maybe not quite that long.
Was it just early? We did start talking about it in the summer, I feel like.
It was this year. It was actually this
okay.
Year.
Yeah. At the famous Birds of
Paradise. Birds of Paradise.
In Boston. We're a Boston-based crew. We'll try to do things that are national. Obviously, sometimes we'll do things that are just in the area or Massachusetts-based, but generally we'll try to make this nationwide. We're going to be talking about our favorite frozen foods. We love frozen foods. I mean, that's how we got started.
Anything sold frozen is fair game for this podcast.
Indeed. It can be just frozen vegetables. It can be frozen pizzas. It can be appetizers. It can be desserts. I mean, we claim anything frozen.
It can be ice cream and popsicles.
It can be popsicles.
Right.
It can be alcoholic drinks.
Absolutely.
Nothing is out of bounds.
It could be ice. We could.
We'll definitely do ice.
Taste test some ice.
I mean, people have strong feelings about ice. I think that's totally within the zone.
Yeah, don't hold your breath for that one.
We're doing ice. We're doing ice. So maybe it's midway through, the podcast. But yeah. So I'm Mike. I'm an engineer. I've been in Boston for 10-ish years. Met Darren doing improv. Love comedy as well. So we're hoping to mix in a little bit of comedy here. This is not just going to be a podcast where we tell you what to eat. This is for fun. We're going to have fun with you guys, talking about whatever we really want to talk about, but in the context of or centered around a food that we're going to be tasting.
If you're looking for just serious reviews of food, just Google it.
Yeah. We're not going to be your source for that. I mean, we do love food. I love food. Darren loves food.
I love food.
And we're going to have some actual commentary to provide, but we're here more to, I don't know, have fun.
I make food occasionally.
You don't cook, Darren.
Microwaving counts as making food.
Yeah, I mean, for this podcast, heating things up is the main thing you have to do.
We are not dealing with fresh ingredients here. Lots of people would argue that frozen is as good as fresh.
Even better.
I
mean, I'm hoping to do some fish. We were talking a little earlier off pod. Hopefully some fish in the future. Maybe some stuff caught right here in Massachusetts. But that's not where we're getting into tonight.
I got a couple things in the freezer, actually, that I am excited to bring up for some future episodes.
Oh, yeah? With that, we should probably get into our regular segment.
Mm-hmm.
What we've been eating.
I
feel like we need a maybe not what we've been eating. It's got to have a freezer-based fun. What been freezing?
Freebing? Freebasing.
No.
No.
Yeah, we'll get it. Freezer beaver. Like eager beaver.
Freezer beavers. We are not your freezer beavers.
I'm a freezer beaver.
We'll see. We'll see about that. I got some weird stuff in the freezer, though. A French onion soup I found at Trader Joe's.
Okay. Trader Joe's will be a treasure trove.
Absolutely.
For the
It's
Froze
all over
Bros.
the country, right?
I think so.
You can find Trader Joe's anywhere. Whole Foods has some good things. We're going to talk about some local, not real local, but maybe some regional supermarket brands.
Yeah. Market Basket. Love the Market Basket. We're big fans here in Massachusetts, but we recognize that not everyone has access.
I've only been to a Market Basket once, and I think I bought a water.
Yeah, well, you're missing out, okay? Because that's where you can get elbowed over some pork jowls.
Pork jowls.
Yeah.
Do they come frozen?
No. So we won't be covering that.
So, nope.
In fact, I don't know if they have good frozen stuff there. I think they're more your basics. Hit us up in the comments if I'm wrong. If you've got some favorite Market Basket stuff, we want to know. We'll try it, maybe. Depends on how many Massachusetts folks we have here.
You can reach us at frozebrospod@gmail.com.
Frozebrospod at Gmail.
Frozebrospod@gmail.com. Or find us online.
What are our other things? Check it out in the episode description or on our website. But yeah, we're available. Hit us up.
Frozebros.com. Frozebros.com.
So tell me more about this French onion soup. Tried it yet?
I have not tried it yet.
All right. So that's something for us all to look forward to.
I haven't even looked at how it's prepared.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we can assume that you throw it. Actually, I guess I don't know. It's got to be a bag. This is a bag situation.
It must be put into something.
Your cooking skills are on full display, Darren.
I think if the cheese is going to get a little browned, it must be best in the oven.
Yeah.
So
I was assuming it was like soup, just broth in a pouch, and then maybe there's like a cheese that you throw on top. Is it already in the bowl?
I have not even opened the carton yet.
All right. Let me get into my freezer situation. We've got a lot of
What's in your freezer?
We're BJ's people now, okay?
Excellent.
I have a freezer full of freezer stuff. I don't know what any of it is because he went and does most of the cooking. We have a lot of shrimp. I was just telling you earlier, Argentine shrimp. That's one of our new things. We get that frozen, and it tastes. I think it's called Argentine red shrimp. So it looks redder. And then when you cook it, it becomes more of the shade of lobster. It's got more of a lobster texture and taste. It's a nice little treat. It's a little bit more expensive than regular shrimp, but
Argentine.
It's less. Yeah.
Argentina. In English, Argentine.
Yeah. It's delicious. Check it out. Actually, the first place we got it was from Trader Joe's.
Really?
But I'm pretty sure that's where it's available.
I will look for it.
I found some at Star Market like a couple weeks ago.
I go there a lot too. I live right near a Star Market.
You're going to be bathing in red shrimp.
I will not tell which Star Market I go to. I don't want to be...
Yeah, don't dox yourself. We don't want all of our fans to be lurking for you at the Star Market.
So both of you, don't look for me. The two of you already know where we live. So we got some food to try tonight. The White Castle sliders, famous for their sliders. White Castle, founded in 1921. First frozen burgers in retail, 1987.
So these have been around for a long time. They've had
not the particular ones we're going to eat tonight.
I mean, they might have been. I don't know. This is their standard burger. This is a cheeseburger with onions, small form factor. A lot of, like I was saying earlier, a lot of people prefer these to the original. It's a great at home. I want to say cheap, but not the word. It's like a guilty pleasure.
It's a snack.
Yeah. They come in 2-packs. Easy to just toss a couple of them down.
For dinner, you got to eat how many of these? Maybe.
You need at least 6 for a meal.
Yeah, I was going to say about half a dozen.
But that is the beauty of White Castle burgers. You're just like get to pound a bunch of them.
And what'd you say earlier? You've been to a White Castle in person? Or?
I've been to White Castle. I also tried Crystal Burger not too long ago, which is like I don't know if it's the same owners. It's almost the same exact thing. You ever been to a Crystal?
No, I don't know Crystal Burgers.
It's in the South. It's basically the South version of White Castle. It's also, I mean, it's the same. You get the same kind of thing. A little greasy burger.
White Castle. I'm a New England boy. White Castle was very New York to me, but I just learned by doing some research. White Castle was not founded in New York. I thought of it as a very Long Island, Queens. I think I went to the White Castle in Queens, but it was founded in Wichita, Kansas.
That is weird. I feel like New York is part of their brand. Like, we think of it as a New York institution.
It has become, at least in this part of the country. I don't
maybe
even know.
Maybe it's because we're from around here. This is just the way we think of it.
I don't know of any White Castles in New England.
Yeah, you have to go to New York. It's a long ways away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the movie Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle was started, because everybody knows if you want to go to White Castle, you have to travel a long distance.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're not going to travel a long distance. We went to our local store. Do we mention the store? Can we do that?
We went to our local Roche Bros.
Yeah, Roche Brothers.
I don't have anything. I'm still getting used to Roche Bros. I don't think highly or negatively. I think they got pretty good quality stuff.
The one we were at does not have a huge selection. It's a little bit of a smaller store.
Small store, yeah. Their frozen section is not amazing.
So I can't say one thing or another about the store either. It's not one that I frequent.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fixture of the show, this Roche Bros, because when we can't think of anything else to do, or we don't have anything planned, we're just running to that Roche Bros. Right. There's also the gas station nearby. We have to do the gas station.
We absolutely will do some late night freezer shopping in a 7-Eleven gas station.
Absolutely. Circle K,
Cumberland Farms, whatever you got near you.
Yeah, that's another New England place. I mean,
it is. I think it is.
We love our Cumbies over here.
I know one in Brighton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all over the place.
I've gone there for gas sometimes.
It's great. They have good deals. They have good deals on gas, coffee. That's what people go there for. I feel like you can get $1 decent coffee.
So we're gonna review that. We're gonna do a little bit of general frozen food trivia for you too. I'm gonna test Mike on what he knows about the history of frozen food.
Wow. I mean, I think that I know a lot.
Place your bets. I got 10 questions. Will he get over 5 correct? And will it just be luck?
Are they multiple choice?
It's you got a 50-50 shot on each one, actually.
All right. Well, the stakes are set.
The stakes are low. The steaks have already been chopped, and they are in burgers, and we're gonna eat those.
So we are going to be right back. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to eat those burgers now and give you immediate feedback.
And we're not going to eat them on air, so you don't have to hear us chew.
Nobody wants to hear that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So we will be right back. And 1, 2, 3. 3. Whoops. We're going. All right, we're back. We're definitely going to have to edit that
out. You didn't? I thought you were going to give a 3, 2, 1.
I did, but then I just clicked it anyway.
3, click.
Yeah.
We're going to work on that.
We can leave this in. Anyway, we have just had the White Castle burgers made 2 ways. There's 2 instructions on the box. One is to let them thaw in the refrigerator for some amount of time. They don't tell you how long. You say let them thaw. And then microwave them. And then they have separate instructions that you can just do them from frozen and just stick them in the microwave. But they recommend the thawing first.
Mike was the chef here, I will admit, and that might be the case most of the time. I am, even from frozen, I am probably the lesser cook.
I mean, I did screw up the first ones. I didn't put the top bun is supposed to go down on the first cook, and then you flip them over. I didn't do that, but still, I don't think that made a huge difference. Whatever. If you got complaints, let us know. We'll do a little follow-up if we need to. And the second one, so the first one was the thawed ones. The second one was the from frozen, and we made them both ways. We wanted to try out both preparations because that's how they specified on the box, and we had some preferences.
Yeah, I think we both had the same preference.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely the way they recommend, it's recommended for a reason.
It's better. It's better. Thaw them a bit first.
I don't know what it is, but the bun doesn't come out as soggy. It gets a little soggy when you cook it right from frozen.
Yeah, there's more. There's just more moisture in there while it's still frozen.
Yeah.
That comes out while it thaws. This is science. It's not my thing.
It's science. It's definitely science. And it is my thing, but not this kind of science. I don't know why it is, but it's definitely a little tastier. I think overall, if we're talking about this, it's got a great onion flavor. It's got a great American cheese flavor. It's beefy.
It's beefy? Come on.
It's beefy.
It's like 2 millimeters thick.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it can't taste beefy.
Cheese is even thinner.
Yeah.
I tasted the onions. I'll give you, I tasted the onions.
It tastes a lot like onions.
The bun is soggy right from the freezer.
Yeah.
The bun wasn't as bad, although it looked flatter.
They were very flat. You guys might have been the pictures. It was flat.
Might have been the flip over thing you did.
It could be, but I don't know. They were both flat.
I will admit too that I think I said I went to White Castle at least once. And it's not my favorite burger by far. Don't hate it, don't love it. I was just looking up too where the closest White Castles are. We would, in fact, have to drive from Boston to, well, it says the closest is Long Island, but that would be taking a ferry or driving all the way through the city back out to Long Island. So that's as the bird flies close. Mm-hmm. I think Yonkers, New York would actually be the closest to drive to.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a trip to Yonkers. Maybe we can do a follow-up doing a nice little New York trip.
As long as we drive through Yonkers to somewhere better.
Have you been to Yonkers?
I have a friend from Yonkers. I have a former friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
The reason that the friendship is no longer is because he lives in
I'm
Yonkers.
his friend. This guy has blocked me. Do we want to get into politics on the first episode?
No.
Let's just say he's blocked me.
Okay.
I live in Cambridge, Massachusetts, so you guess how I vote.
Okay.
With 95% of the city.
Fair enough. All right. So, follow up to the White Castle to be determined. Could happen.
I would say the packaging is nice. It looks good. Yeah. It looks good. It's it catches your eye. It's nothing wrong with it.
I want to go back. I want to defend my beefy comment. I think it's not a lot of beef. Nobody's saying there's a lot of beef here.
Does it even taste like beef?
It tastes beefy. In fact, it tastes like they injected it with beef. Like they took beef broth.
That helps.
And soaked the meat in the beef broth.
They injected it. That helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
I think that's worth something. You know, that's attention to detail.
And it has your favorite cheese on it.
I love American cheese.
American cheese. American cheese is Mike's nickname.
Yeah, everyone's calling me American cheese. Yeah, American cheese is the best. I mean, it just goes on everything.
So just take that for background for future episodes.
Yeah.
Mike's a pretty good foodie. He likes good food. I know that. The American cheese thing, just, I don't know, aberration.
No, I'm a big proponent that you can love junk food and you can love good food.
Sure.
You know,
this is a junk food burger.
Yeah.
Right? We can agree on that. It's a junk food burger. I didn't like it.
Yeah, you're more of a foodie than me. I think that this does satisfy that junk food urge. Like if you want a McDonald's cheeseburger and you're at home and you're just like, well, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't even want to go to McDonald's. Then you pick this up and you're pretty satisfied.
And I can't even wait for it to be brought to me.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't. It's quick cook. It's 25 seconds on one side, 20 on the other. A minute of waiting. You probably don't even have to wait that minute.
It was both times. It was really hot coming out, even after we waited the minute.
Yeah,
it was really hot.
From frozen, it was even hotter. It was too hot.
And I will say, I burned my mouth a couple days ago with some pizza in Chicago. I did not have deep dish pizza. I got thin crust pizza in Chicago at the airport. Write in about that too. Whatever you want. But
I've heard that like real Chicagoans are not they're not defensive of the deep dish pizza. Like they're like, we eat regular pizza like everyone else. It's more of a specialty item.
Yeah. But the point here is I burned my mouth and this hurt a little bit because these were very hot even after the minute. So I don't think that it affected my rating.
Your overall score.
Yeah. I do not hold it against it that it was too hot.
Okay, that's appreciated. Although I think the second one you could, because you do have to wait for another minute before it's really edible. The first one, I think it was actually pretty good. That first bite was like hot, but not too hot. It was like just the right amount of a little bit too hot.
Probably true. Yeah. The first bite was just a little bit too hot. Second one,
it was too hot.
It was too hot. It might be that the steam in the fully frozen one
there's too much steam
in there. Yeah,
there's steam everywhere.
Yeah.
What is this? Connecticut with the steamed burger?
Steamed burgers. Have you had those? Those are
never had the steamed
I had
burger.
it once. Nasty. They're from people love them. I know people love them. Is it Meriden or somewhere? We're gonna have to.
I don't know anyone that loves. I didn't even know about them until I just happened to be like searching for burger places and saw about it.
Steamed burgers.
When you were growing up, so we're both from Connecticut. When you were growing up, had you heard of the steamed burger?
No. I hadn't, not until I was older, and this wasn't until just a few years ago. It's Ted's in Meriden. Yeah, I've driven by. I've gotten one there once. It's a roadside place with nowhere to park. People stand in line, and you get this crappy steamed burger. People like them, though. It's not for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we called them out by name.
I'm sorry, Ted.
This is Ted.
People love you, Ted.
I
think you're still there. If you want to try every different kind of burger, go to Ted's.
Ted's been there long enough. Yeah, I mean, bad publicity is not going to affect Ted at this point.
Ted's has been around since 1959. I'm not putting Ted out of business.
Yeah. People go to Ted's because they had them as a child. Similar to the reason I like McDonald's. It's just because you've been indoctrinated.
I like McDonald's too. I do it once in a while. Yeah. Quarter pounder, no pickles, no mustard. That's you might as well learn now. That's not. I just not a fan. I like mustard.
Yeah.
I want my ketchup and my onions alone on the burger.
I mean, that's fair. I don't hate that. When I was a kid, I couldn't do the mustard, but I don't know. I got used to it. I think it was forced down my throat. You know,
the mustard was forced down your throat.
The mustard was forced down my throat. They're just like, it's just always on there. Eventually, if you don't want to like be making a fuss every single time, you have to succumb to mustard life.
Nothing was forced down my throat because I had a mother who didn't like the taste of anything.
Okay.
Everything absolutely plain. So,
so you had to fight for ketchup.
I had to fight for flavor.
Onions. What about onions? Were onions taboo?
She was not a big fan of onions, not a big fan of garlic.
Really?
And this was an Italian woman. My mother may be the only Italian woman who couldn't cook.
Yeah. I mean, no garlic. That's a tough life. Onions, I mean, onions might be...
You know who... The only people who thought my mother was a good cook? My dad's Irish family.
Ah, yeah. Well,
because
they're authorities.
They boiled everything.
Yeah.
If they ate at all.
Sure. Yeah. To get back to the burgers, I think we've given our thoughts. We're ready to give a score. Our score is on a scale of hot mess to ice cold.
Hot mess to ice cold. Put that to like a 1 to 5 if you want to. We haven't named everything, so
we're getting there. And since we are the Froze Bros, ice cold is good. That's not a bad thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Ice cold is good. Ice
You
cold
want
is
to
the
be
best.
ice cold. And middle,
lukewarm.
Lukewarm.
Luke, I am your father. Warm.
Luke, I am your father.
Cool hands, lukewarm.
Yeah, like you've just eaten a bunch of eggs and you don't want to eat anything else. You're just like, I can't even. I don't want food right now.
It's the middle.
The middle.
It's the middle. It's not.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like, so if you've eaten a bunch of eggs, you just don't want to eat anything. Anything you eat at that point is just going to be like nothing. You're just gonna be like, I can't like or dislike anything.
Okay, not like or okay.
That's why, yeah. Cool hand Luke. I like this cool hand Luke. The Star Wars is off the table.
No, Star Wars will be coming back.
Okay, we'll bring Star Wars back. All right, so for me, this kind of does exactly what it's supposed to do. I think it replicates the fast food experience perfectly. This is right in between Cool Hand Luke and Ice Cold. This is.
So you're saying you'd give it a 4.
It's a 4.
For which we have no name yet.
We don't have a name for 4. So, 4 ice cubes.
Four ice cubes. Well, I don't have to worry about this because I am going dead on lukewarm.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hate it. Don't like it. Wouldn't get it again. It didn't make me sick. I don't know. Am I even talking myself down to a 2? Possibly.
I mean, if I
2.5.
If I was to say what your score was based on the look on your face, I would say, yeah, it was a solid 2. Solid
2. I did not look good while I was eating this. I did have to force it down a little bit.
I don't know. I'd keep them in my freezer. I can't say I would keep them in there. I'm not going to make space for these. If I want a burger, I live in the city. If I want a burger, I can just order a burger. It'll be here pretty quickly. I'm not going to make
Boston Burger, McDonald's.
I
won't name other places, but they can get to you.
Yeah, I mean, I would never get Boston Burger Company.
You don't like them?
Terrible.
I've had it a couple times. Is that the one they only have potato chips or beans?
I haven't been there. It might be like close to 10 years since I've been to one, but I just feel like they're the epitome of like the thick, bland burger where you're just getting a bunch of beef that tastes basically like nothing. But shout out to Wild Willie's, another local chain.
Mm-hmm.
Good burger.
It is pretty good. A lot of good options there too. I do feel like those not as thin as this White Castle, but a thinner burger can get more flavor in it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just eating this hunk of.
I'm with you. I think there is a place for the big fat burger, but it has to be like really, really good meat. It has to be cooked pretty medium rare. Mm-hmm. And not that many places do it well. And Boston Burger Company is just kind of not on that echelon where they're doing good enough ingredients and good enough cooks that they can pull it off. If you're not doing that, you should be doing a fried burger, a thinner patty, either a diner style, which is not a smash burger but still pretty thin, or a smash burger, which I love. I love a smash burger. That's like, I made a couple recently.
Yeah.
Turned out pretty good.
You've I won't say you've mastered it yet.
No, I haven't mastered it.
There's room to grow.
There's a lot of room to grow.
You've grown already?
Well, I tried making them. So my girlfriend got this Wagyu beef, ground beef, and I think the beef, I originally, again, shout out the meat spot in Boston. Idris, great guy, gave me some, for the first time I had made some great ground beef, and those ones came out fantastic. We used this from the store, Wagyu beef, and they shrunk up quite a bit. So I like flattened them out like normal, but they shrunk up, and I don't know, they just weren't as flavorful. So I don't know exactly what happened. I'd appreciate any tips you may have. Any listeners, that would be appreciated. But I don't know why that was. They also just weren't as tasty. I made them almost the exact same
Send
way.
your tips to frozebrospod@gmail.com.
frozebrospod@gmail.com.
So we're gonna do a bit of a segment with some frozen food trivia.
Yeah.
I got some questions for you. I've been doing some research.
Okay. Let's hear them.
If I work for you, don't listen right now because I spent most of today researching frozen food history.
Okay. And also, if you work for Darren, don't listen to this because you also don't want to hear that.
I did a lot of other work today too. I really did. I had a lot of meetings today. I fit this in. We ready to go right into this?
Let's get into the segment. Wait, what is the name of the segment?
This name of this segment is Who Came First?
All right, who came first?
Who came first? This is all based on frozen food history.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a couple of different things. You tell me who came first in history.
I think I can do this.
All
this
right.
is right up my alley. Actually, it's not. I'm terrible at history, but I do love frozen food. So it's
There's a little bit of logic in this, in some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them a little tricky. So, first one, who came first? The Chinese first used ice as a preservative, or Mesoamericans invent the tamale? Tamale, actually, another way to preserve, early way to preserve meats and the other ingredients.
Wait, how are these things related?
They don't have to be related. Which one came first? I'm giving you two fucking different things. They came at different periods of time.
Okay.
Which one came first?
Okay. So, I feel like the Chinese. I'm gonna go with the Chinese just based on their track record of getting there first.
It's a very good guess, but you're wrong.
Damn.
The Chinese, the first evidence of the Chinese using ice as a preservative is 3000 BC.
Mm-hmm.
Tamales, evidence as far back as 5000 to 8000 BC.
You know, I feel like that's pretty close on this. You know, whole scale.
You're still wrong.
Yeah,
you're still wrong.
Fair.
We're gonna jump ahead a few years now. So,
all right, I'm
your
ready.
Second question. So right now your score
the
is
refrigerator. Okay.
0. Oh no, we're not at the refrigerator yet.
Okay.
No. Who came first? Philadelphia newspapers advertise ice for sale, or Boston merchant Frederick Tudor first ships Massachusetts ice overseas?
So, in Philadelphia, ice was for sale.
Ice was for sale in Philadelphia.
So
what you're
Boston
basically thinking
shipping
about
it overseas already?
Yeah, that's what you're thinking about. What year was ice for sale in Philadelphia as compared to what year was someone in Boston shipping ice overseas?
All right. Well, overseas.
I don't know, apparently to somewhere where they couldn't get their own.
Right.
For some reason. It was colder on this side of the Atlantic.
Yeah, no, we just had ice.
It always has
lying
been.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that case, the technology to store ice and for long shipments is maybe a technology that needed to be developed for this to happen. On the other hand, sale of ice in Philadelphia. I think that maybe Philadelphia was like always a shithole, and so like it just took long.
We're sorry, Philadelphia.
A really long time
Jesus
for
Christ,
them.
the list of apologies we're gonna have to post after this first episode.
No, I like Philadelphia.
You were recently in Philadelphia.
I was recently there. Had a great time. It is, it was one of the earlier developed cities in the U.S. So I feel like that probably came first. I mean, why would they not just be selling ice to the people in Philadelphia rather than the people across the Atlantic? It's got to be Philadelphia.
You're right. You are right. Ice was for sale in Philadelphia as early as 1784, and ice was shipped overseas from Boston in 1805. You got 1 point.
All right.
We're
going for one.
All right. Next one's tough. Who came first? Jacob Fussell opens the first ice cream shop in Baltimore, or John Gorey gets a U.S. patent for making ice.
Making ice. Or the patent for ice cream.
It's not a patent for ice cream. It is opening the first ice cream shop versus a patent for making ice.
Opening the first ice cream shop.
I'll give you... Ice had been made before, but I'm the artist, not the scientist, and I'm explaining patents to you.
Yeah.
The patent is given for a process or some sort of machinery that makes the ice. So
Gotcha.
What came first, an ice cream shop or a patent for making ice?
I feel like it has to be ice cream shop. I mean, people have been making ice cream for a long time. It's not like an unknown process. Baltimore, again, another early city in the U.S., an important coastal city.
The ice cream shop was in Baltimore.
So, yeah, I mean, and the patents, but yeah, a process for making ice does seem like it would be developed pretty early. And the American system for patent governance and patent law seems like it would have come up pretty early as well. But I gotta go with...
It was early. It was in the Constitution, basically.
Yeah.
No, the basis is in the Constitution. I was a previous intellectual property lawyer. Don't ask me any questions. Do not email us about that.
Yeah. We won't...
Copyright was more my thing. But
nothing you hear on this podcast...
Patent from the 1790s...
is law advice.
No.
Isn't there a phrase lawyers are supposed to say that something like that?
Yeah, do not take any of this as legal advice.
Yes, thank you. But still, I think... so you need some actual technology to freeze ice, right? And before like freezers and refrigerators, people were just chopping ice blocks off an iceberg.
I think that's what they were doing. They were just chopping ice off of a lake or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like the ice cream shop, but they needed ice to do that.
But they were getting their ice
They had ice
from the lake or the glaciers or the snow.
They could have been for... I mean, yeah, the ice is just lying around.
Hmm?
It's clogging up the streets. We're piling it up on the side of the street.
Mm-hmm. We're eating those big mountains of ice that you see in a Target parking lot in February.
Exactly. In June. Up to June.
Depends how north you live.
I'm going to go with the Baltimore ice cream shop.
The Baltimore ice cream shop is wrong.
Bullshit, Darren.
This is tricky because these differed by just a month. The U.S. patent for making ice was issued on May 6th, 1851. The first ice cream shop opened on June 15th, 1851.
That's a total bullshit. Trick question.
You're still at 1 point. 1 point, buddy.
You knew that was going to be an impossible question.
Next question. Who came first? Australians shipped the first frozen meat to London, or Russians shipped the first frozen chicken and geese to London?
Was it chicken to London? Or geese
Who
to
shipped frozen food to London first? The Australians or the Russians? The Australians shipped beef and sheep. The Russians shipped chickens and geese.
I'm gonna go with the Russians. Everything's in deep freeze already. They got plenty of ice. They're also pretty close.
That makes a lot of sense. Russia's cold. They got they're gonna have ice already.
Yeah.
They're closer
to
London to begin with. How is Australia even freezing anything? But
nobody knows.
Again, you are wrong. Australia was shipping frozen foods in 1868, Russia in 1885.
I guess it's a political thing, right? They had already owned Australia.
They did.
So
it's really not even Australians. It is the British somehow involved in making the ice.
They're probably manually making the ice by squeezing water.
So we are still at 1 point.
Okay, good. No, we're doing great.
All right, here's a good one. Who came first? Guinness Brewery, you know Guinness, right?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Heard of Guinness. Asks Carl Paul Gottfried, godfather of frozen food, to improve its cooling systems for making beer. Or Fanny Farmer publishes a recipe for a frozen cocktail.
Any particular cocktail?
I'll tell you. It was called the Victoria. The Victoria. Why don't I have here? Victoria Punch.
Victoria Punch. The famous
Victoria
Victoria
Punch.
Punch.
So if you know anyone named Victoria, this might give you a little bit of a frame in history.
Yeah. I mean, the Victoria Punch came first, or cooling for beer.
Fanny Farmer is this. She's an American culinary expert.
Okay. She's the Julia Child
she published,
of her time.
actually in Boston. She published the Boston Cooking School cookbook.
Okay.
And in that cookbook was a recipe for a frozen cocktail.
All right. Yeah, I don't know
Victoria
this
Punch.
lady, so I'm like totally out of context.
Okay,
here.
so you've never even heard of Fanny Farmer?
No.
Okay. Well, then just believe what I told you.
I believe you. I mean, this seems like something you wouldn't
Did
make
she
up.
do that first, or did Guinness Brewery ask the godfather of frozen foods to improve their cooling system?
I think the cooling systems. I think beer is a priority before listening to Fanny Farmer.
You are right. You got 2 points.
Yes!
1892 for Guinness, 1896 for the frozen cocktail. This frozen cocktail contained fruit juices, gin, and fortified wine, frozen and served in a cocktail glass. It was for Queen Victoria.
She must have been so proud.
She got 2 points. Halfway through.
Wait, I think that's 5 questions.
That's 5 questions. You got 2.
Let's call it there. I think that's enough for the segment.
All right, we will. We
can save the rest of them.
I'll save the rest for another segment sometime.
Yeah. All right. So
just to be clear, Mike lost the game.
I didn't lose. I got 2 points. I got
two,
more than
you
the
got
next
2 out of 5.
Next most, that anybody got.
You did. And you've learned something?
I feel
Apparently.
like I'm a more educated person.
All right.
I'm going to be better at bar trivia next time. But then you'll also know these things, so it's not very helpful.
Well, usually we pair up in trivia. Yeah,
but that's why we can't know the same things. So you should forget these things so that I can be the person that knows them.
I'm giving you only half the information I researched today. So
okay, good.
I'll know the rest. If they get really, really into the details of any of this, I might remember it.
All right, duly noted. All right, well, thanks everybody for listening. This is the first episode of the Froze Bros podcast.
Come back. We have friends. We're going to have some guests with us once in a while.
Yeah. We're going to have guests most weeks. We're going to have more frozen foods. We're going to have a lot of fun.
If there's anything you want us to try, anything sold frozen, frozebrospod@gmail.com.
frozebrospod@gmail.com.
Or find us online at thefrozebros.com.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And
we're out.
Fro you later.
Fro you later.
Hey, Mike here. I just realized that I forgot to thank someone. Our music is original. It's by Substrates. Great band, a friend of mine. Check them out at substrates.bandcamp.com. Thank you.